Why is kindness often mistaken for naivety or a lack of intelligence?
Or, I would rather say, why do people assume you're dumb when you do an act of kindness?
Why is your kindness sometimes perceived as weakness? In this video, we will analyze how to express kindness correctly so that it is valued and respected rather than taken for granted. Lessons from Stoic philosophy will help you find a balance between generosity and self-respect, set boundaries, and turn kindness into a source of inner strength. Have you ever put your whole soul into helping someone, only to be met with indifference or, even worse, outright disrespect? You hold the door for someone, and they walk past without even nodding. You go to great lengths to help a colleague, and instead of gratitude, you hear a sarcastic remark. Moments like these make you stop and think, did I do something wrong? But before you start doubting your kindness, let's take a step back. The problem is not your kindness. The issue is how, when, and to whom it is shown. Stoic philosophy teaches us that kindness, far from being a weakness, is one of the greatest expressions of inner strength. But kindness without wisdom is nothing.
This video is not about convincing you not to be kind. It is dedicated to how to turn your generosity into a powerful force that reflects your self-esteem and values. Together, we will examine the timeless lessons of Stoic philosophy and explore how to express kindness so that it earns respect.
Why? Your kindness works against you? Imagine a man named Paul. He is always ready to help, even if it means driving across the city to bring a spare part. When a neighbor's gate breaks, Paul puts his personal tasks aside to fix them. At first, his help is met with sincere gratitude, but over time, it starts being taken for granted. One day, he refuses to fulfill a request because he is too busy, and instead of understanding, he faces criticism. Paul starts feeling used and asks himself, do people even appreciate my kindness?
We have all been in Paul's shoes. Kindness without boundaries can easily be misunderstood or taken for granted. Stoic philosophy explains that the problem is not kindness itself, but how we practice it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul takes on the color of its thoughts. If your kindness comes from a need to please others or a fear of rejection, your soul takes on the color of dependency. But if it stems from your values and self-awareness, kindness becomes strength."
Let's take another example. Amber, an outstanding employee at a large company. She often stays late, taking on extra work without complaints. At first, her efforts inspire admiration from colleagues and praise from management. But over time, her dedication becomes expected. One day, Amber refuses to stay late due to health issues. Instead of understanding, her boss expresses disappointment, and her colleagues find it inconvenient. At that moment, Amber realizes that kindness without boundaries does not earn respect. It creates endless expectations. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that kindness is not unconditional sacrifice. It requires balance and wisdom. Setting boundaries does not diminish the value of kindness. It protects it from being exploited. Kindness should not be an obligation that leads to disappointment for the giver and a sense of entitlement for the receiver. The lesson here is simple but deep. Give with an open heart, but do not forget to set boundaries. Your kindness is a precious asset, not an endless duty. When you practice kindness with intention, you not only protect your dignity, but also increase the impact of your actions. Kindness should not be a way to win approval. It should reflect your inner strength, which no one can diminish.
Kindness is a fundamental virtue in Stoicism, but it is one that requires wisdom to wield correctly. The Stoics advocate for kindness as an expression of virtue, not as a self-destructive act. To be kind is to act in accordance with reason and justice, extending goodwill without compromising one's well-being. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, emphasizes that one should perform good acts simply because they are the right thing to do. However, this does not mean sacrificing oneself beyond reason. True kindness is not about diminishing oneself, but about fostering harmony and mutual respect among people.
The dangers of self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice, when excessive, can lead to an erosion of one's own integrity and personal well-being. The Stoics caution against giving so much to others that one is left weakened, unable to continue serving the greater good. Epictetus teaches that we must prioritize what is within our control and recognize when we are acting from compulsion rather than reason. When kindness transforms into self-sacrifice to the point of personal detriment, it becomes an act of emotional impulse rather than a rational decision. This can lead to resentment, burnout, and an inability to continue contributing to society in a meaningful way.
The Stoic balance is kindness with boundaries. The Stoic approach to kindness involves setting boundaries to ensure that generosity does not lead to self-harm. Seneca reminds us that we should give as long as it does not hurt us. This does not imply selfishness, but rather a conscious and rational allocation of one's resources, be it time, energy, or emotional capacity. To practice Stoic kindness, offer help when it is reasonable and just. Do not seek validation or expect rewards for acts of kindness. Recognize when an act of giving might harm your ability to sustain yourself. Ensure that your kindness stems from virtue and wisdom, not from guilt or societal pressure. Turning kindness into a source of inner strength.
Kindness is a beautiful gift that we give to the world, but it should not leave us feeling drained. Negative experiences should not deter us from kindness. Instead, Stoic philosophy teaches that kindness should come from inner strength, from a flame that cannot be extinguished by the winds of ingratitude or neglect.
Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." His words remind us that the value of kindness does not lie in how others perceive or react to it, but in our unwavering commitment to our moral principles.
When kindness is practiced with wisdom, it brings both joy and meaningful connections. But this is only possible when we maintain our sense of dignity and self-worth while giving. You cannot be truly kind to others if you are not kind to yourself.
Kindness is not self-sacrifice. It is a conscious act of generosity. It holds true value only when paired with self-respect and balance.
Conclusion. In Stoicism, kindness and self-sacrifice are not the same. A Stoic should strive to be generous and just, but must also be prudent in preserving their well-being. The wise individual recognizes that to be of service to others, they must also take care of themselves. Therefore, kindness should always be tempered with reason, ensuring that it does not cross into harmful self-sacrifice. In this way, the Stoic remains resilient, compassionate, and unwavering in their pursuit of virtue.